Um, we are we we are hit a little lull right now, but have gone back to practicing hard, trying to just trying to get better, as I'm sure everybody else is. So enjoying practice, and hopefully practice will carry over to the game.
Okay, your first question comes from Mike Siraki from Hoops Guru. Mike?
Holly, one of the things that you talked about a lot in the past, and it appears you're talking about again now, is the mental coaching aspect. Does it get any easier for you to figure that part out?
Well, Mike, I think it's gotten hard for me to understand what the kids think, especially during a game. I think that's what you're talking about, our kids, and then I'll answer the other part. Yeah, I think the more they get to watch tape, the more, as I've learned, the more that they're involved with the scouting, the more they're involved with the preparation. I think for us helps them get a little bit more mentally prepared. So they've got to understand they're given a scouting report, or they're given information. It's like a cheat sheet on the test, and how you're going to take that and carry that over and use that in an exam. So we have not done a very good job of the last couple of games of taking what we've prepared and what our expectations are and putting it to a game situation. And we've got to get better at that.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next question comes from Sean Cartel of the SEC Digital Network.
Coach, just want to get your thoughts on the developments you've seen since last season in Ariel Massengale, and maybe how her experience with USA basketball this summer maybe played into that.
Oh, Sean, I think it's been a big part of her. I think you take a kid that has been starting her whole career, has had great success, and she made the USA team, and she played behind Odyssey Sims, and we know what productivity Odyssey has, and she had to learn to be not that she wasn't a team player, but she had to learn to come off the bench. She had to learn to come in and bring have instant help, and her minutes. She didn't get many minutes as she has throughout her career. So I think it made her appreciate the value of team, the value of people coming off the bench and having to carry the load of maintaining what's going on the court. So I think that it's just made her appreciate the game, and made her work a little bit harder on developing her game and becoming. She's been a great leader for us, and I think that experience from this summer has helped develop her into so much more a better leader.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, next question comes from Michelle Vopel from ESPN.
Hey, Holly, how you doing?
Hey, Michelle.
I wanted to ask you, in terms of when you look at the losses, is there a common factor, I guess specifically with the SEC losses, in that did you feel like you guys didn't defend, especially maybe on the perimeter, the way that you wanted to? And then is that something, because you have a lot of experience, you have good athletes there, is that something you guys are really focusing on geting back to how
Michelle, that's a great question, and that's something we've been working on. So absolutely, I think the game, our last 4 games have been about us. I mean, I think if you just watch one segment, our defending penetration on the perimeter has been lacking, and I think it's put us in some really bad situations where you've got to rotate your defense, or your defense you penetrate down the middle. There's no help, so I think that's a huge part of what we've got to get better at, and we've worked at it. We work on it every day, and we're going to continue to do that. And I've got to change some things up too. I mean, if somebody keeps beating us and on the penetration, we got to change up a little bit too. But we know what to do. It's kind of crazy, Michelle. We guard guys in practice, and we're stopping them, dribbling down the middle and doing this, and I'm like, well, we can do this, and then we get in the game, and it's almost like we're on freeze play here. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to do this because I may get a foul, and I may. So I've got to get to the point where how we can carry over the practice aspect to the game aspect, because we're doing a very poorly, not very good job of defending any type of penetration.
One of the things that you've always talked about, and I think a lot of coaches do, is to not let your offense impact your defense, because offense can come and go. Has that hurt you guys in that if there is some struggles maybe shooting wise that you can see that impacting the defense, and is that maybe been the mindset of that you can bring that defense every night?
Well, Michelle, if you watch us, if we hit a couple of shots, man, we can get up on somebody and defend. And if we miss a couple of shots, we may be slow getting back and those type of things. So, yeah, I think our offense at times can dictate our defense, but a sign of a great team, I think, is just to have the confidence in both ends of the floor, and that it's a team sport, and you just can't. We've just tried to make sure that this program has been built on defense and rebounding, and the games that we have lost, we have done it's twofold kind of. We've done a poor job of defending penetration, and then we've given up some really crucial offensive rebounding, I think. But then you look at our offensive end, and if we can stay focused on the offensive end, because kids love the offense. So if we can, I look back in our losses, and you hit layups and free throws, we still should have won the game, but we lose our focus. It appears to me we've missed some crucial layups, easy layups, and then we get to the line, and we're not shooting well at the line. So if it's so offensive driven, step up and hit a free throw. Complete a layup, and I don't know if that. I think if that's just you lose your composure or you feel a little pressure. I think it's a combination of both.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, your next question comes from Blake Topmeyer from the Columbia Daily Tribune.
Coach, how much parity do you think we're seeing in the SEC so far, and is it good parity?
Well, I've said all along, I said this last year, that the SEC is I feel the strongest conference out there, and I think this year it shows. I mean, you look at all the teams in the top 20, top 25. You look at how good our teams have been doing outside the conference. I mean, we've done well, but then we get in here and there's just it's just a physical, athletic conference that it's very tough to win on the road. If you can get games on the road, I think that you're in business, because I'm concerned about going to Mississippi State and playing on their home court, and they're in the SEC below us. That does not even enter my mind. So I just look at how teams play, how many games have come down to last-second shots or come down to the wire, and I think we have a legitimate thing to say about this is a very, very tough conference.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Okay, your final question comes from Gene Henley from Chattanooga.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Gene, good.
Good. Coach, I know over the years you had some great battles, either recruiting or even coaching now, against Jim Foster.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now 3 wins away from 800. So just want to kind of get your thoughts just on this accomplishment, as well as just maybe reliving some old battles or whatever you might have had against him.
Well, first of all, if Jim's coming on 800, he's old, so he's been in it. Tell him he's been in it too long. No, I think it's an unbelievable accomplishment. I regardless of when you start at 8, that's you're doing something right, and I think wherever Jim has been that he's proven that he's a winner. And we've always had big time battles at when he was at Vanderbilt, and then when he was at Ohio State, it seemed like they were always in either our region, and it always went down. It was always went down to the wire. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for him and what he does and how he coaches and how he gets his kids, prepared for. I think he plays within the system and within his who he has and his talent on his team. So I'm not surprised. I mean, he just everywhere he's gone, he's won, and he's done it in a he's done it in a very impressive manner. So congratulations to him. I'm just glad he's not getting that 800 win against me.